Let's talk about the Cleveland Browns, because this team is on a 3-game winning streak and they are the most banged up team in the NFL. Give Kevin Stefanski and Jim Schwartz a lot of credit. This team has went through Deshaun Watson, who went out this season, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who is not the right quarterback for this team long term, and they also had PJ Walker as well come in for some cleanup duty. They were not able to get it done. And Deshaun Watson had a lot of good moments this year, like how he had in that second half against the Baltimore Ravens. Then his shoulder just completely got shattered. They called in Joe Flacco. In the first game against the Los Angeles Rams, it wasn't pretty. Their defense getting ran all over. It didn't look pretty. Kevin Stefanski went in, tweaked the game plan, let Joe Flacco throw the ball down the field and get things done. And this team is sitting pretty in the NFL playoffs as I record this video. Now, things can change, but this is one of the most dangerous teams in the NFL. Joe Flacco may go out there and throw 2 to 3 interceptions in the game at his worst, but he's going to throw 3 to 4 touchdowns with it as well. That's the dangerous part. He has nothing to lose. This is a quarterback that was just sitting on the couch chilling. And Kevin Stefanski went out and said, hey, let's pick this guy up. Let's see if he can run our system. And he's been one of the best stories in the NFL this season. It's been the year of the backup quarterback, but it has not been the year of the quarterback that's just been sitting at home and wasn't on the roster at the beginning stage of this season. People do not understand how hard it is to just basically be a backup or a third string with a team to have little to no reps when you're running scout team. Joe Flacco didn't run any scout team with this team. He just came out of nowhere and say, hey, I know the playbook. I've been around the NFL for some time now. You have some weapons. Let's go out there and let's make the best use out of them. Amari Cooper has been phenomenal this season and last season as well. He's the first wide receiver since Josh Gordon to have back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons with this team. He's been one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, and he had a great day today against the Houston Texans. He is a true franchise wide receiver and is a great playmaker for this team as well. You look at Jerome Ford. He's been able to come in and basically get that load that Nick Chubb was carrying on his back when he got hurt against the Steelers months ago in that Monday Night Football game. They basically had to go back in and call Kareem Hunt as well, another free agent that was with this team last season, but it was a guy the NFL had given up on. They say that he was too slow. He's come in and has been a good rotational piece in that backfield with Jerome Ford. Jerome Ford's been getting some big carries as the season has progressed, and the same with Kareem Hunt as well. Give all of these guys credit, because it is hard to go out there and win week to week in the NFL, but it's very hard to go out there when you basically have spare parts on your offense. And that is no offense to these guys, because they're stepping up. They don't even look like spare parts. This is also an offensive line that's been dealing with injuries as well. You're missing your 2 starting tackles. Jack Conklin went out against the Steelers months ago. You also had Jedrick Will Jr. that went out weeks ago as well. And DeJuan Jones, who was stepping in for Jack Conklin, that rookie that looked phenomenal, he's out for the rest of the season as well. You're depending on James Hudson III at the tackle position. And you're also depending on Garyon Christensen at the left tackle position. The interior of the offense line has stepped it up, but give these tackles credit as well. It is all coming down from the game planning of Kevin Stefanski, a guy that a lot of people were down on, and I was down on him as well. Had a lot of crazy calls early in this season, but it seems like in the last couple of weeks, he's catering to the players' strengths, and he's just letting these guys go out there and play football. That play action game is phenomenal. The route concepts on the goal line are phenomenal. He should be in the Coach of the Year discussion just for dealing with the injuries alone, and I'm being completely serious about that. He has done a great coaching job this year. Same with Jim Schwartz, who we're going to talk to in just a couple of seconds. But give Kevin Stefanski his credit with the Cleveland Browns. This is a man a couple years ago that made the playoffs with Baker Mayfield, and not only just that, had to deal with the pandemic issue, was not able to coach those guys, but he prepared them a lot as they went against the Steelers and beat them in that playoff game. He's had a lot of success with this team, and I just want to give him his flowers as well, because he got too much hate early on this season. And you look at the rest of this team as well. They're dealing with injuries on the defensive side, but I also want to talk about David Njoku before I talk about the defense. Njoku has been phenomenal. Easily the best season of his career. David Njoku was a guy that was a first-round pick and didn't live up to the hype as much because they didn't know how to use him. They weren't giving him the football as much. But the last couple of weeks, and especially this season, they've used him a lot in the red zone. They used him a lot to just go out there and just open things up for other guys. And he's one of the most unguardable tight ends in the NFL. Give him credit as well. Now let's talk about this defense. They've been phenomenal. One of the best defensive units in the NFL, even with the injuries. Give Jim Schwartz that credit for letting that secondary go out there and press up on the wide receivers with guys like Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome as well. They're a physical defense that's able to get things done, even with their third and fourth corners on the roster. Myles Garrett is one of the best defensive players in the NFL, and he should be in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation. 13 sacks on the season and 4 forced fumbles. Dalvin Tomlinson, great at the defensive tackle position. May not have those high sack numbers, but he's going to stop the run. He's going to open things up for guys like Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith as well. And Zadarius Smith may not have those high sack numbers, but he's setting the edge. He's getting a lot of pressure, and he's causing some fumbles as well. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, the best linebacker on this team, can cover in space, can cover tight ends, can stop the run, and is just overall one of the best linebackers in football today. And another thing with Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, he's part of the reason why they beat the Cleveland Browns a month ago, because the way that he was playing defense on that end of the field. That kid is phenomenal. And when it comes time to pay him, they might as well just pay up. And I said this about the secondary as well. They have looked very good. But listen to these injuries that they've had to deal with on the defensive side. No Grant Delpit for the rest of the season. He was a very good safety with this team, and he was the best safety on the roster. No Juan Thornhill today as they went against the Houston Texans. He was out as well. And you're depending on guys on the back end to get things done. They were still able to get things done because it's the next man up mentality with this Cleveland Browns roster. Like Myles Garrett said in the press conference, it's each one, teach one. We're going to all have guys ready to come in just in case we go down. We're going to help each other out, and it's a brotherhood with this Cleveland Browns team. Something the Cleveland Browns haven't had in the last couple of decades is a culture, and Kevin Stefanski has found that culture. I love everything they're doing right now, and I'm proud of this team. Will they make a realistic Super Bowl push? I don't know. Because that's the beauty of the AFC right now. No one knows for sure. You look at the Kansas City Chiefs. The wide receivers are not the best. The Buffalo Bills are a hot team right now, but the Cleveland Browns match up very well with all those teams on the defensive end. So you do not just want to 100% count them out. And another thing that's weird about Joe Flacco, when he gets in the playoffs, in the past, he has been a very dangerous quarterback. This is a guy that has beat Peyton Manning and Tom Brady when they had two of the toughest defenses at the time. And the way that Amari Cooper's playing right now, and the way that David Njoku is playing, and the way that Kevin Stefanski is game planning right now, this could be one of those dangerous teams in the AFC that you look at in the playoffs and say, hey, how did they make it this far? Due to coaching, culture, and the players stepping up as well. Give everyone credit, and give Andrew Berry credit as well, who should be executive of the year, because the way that he's been drafted the last couple years and the way that he's been going out there and getting things done, it's been phenomenal as well. A lot of people are saying, hey, what about them giving up the draft picks for Deshaun Watson? Hey, Deshaun Watson may not return on that investment just yet because he's dealing with that suspension his first year, and he got injured this year. That's unfortunate. But all that you want from this Cleveland Browns team is make a deep playoff push and just get to the playoffs, and Kevin Stefanski has done that, even dealing with all the injuries. Give Kevin Stefanski credit, give the front office credit, and give these players credit. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you feel about the Cleveland Browns? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, want each and every last one, guys, stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace.